Hello everyone, this is Dr. K. Jagannayaki, Professor in MBA Department, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal. So I would like to discuss about business economics and financial analysis. So before going to enter into the subject, first I would like to discuss with you all about the course overview. See, the course gives an overview of concepts of economics. Managerial economics enables the students to understand micro environment in which markets operate and how price determination is done under different competitions, and financial analysis gives a clear idea about concepts, conventions and accounting procedures, and using ratio analysis we can able to forecast the financial status of the company, and that helps to plan and control the various business operations. And break-even analysis is also useful to the business concern for decision making and interpreting the financial statements. So this is about course overview. Then coming to the course objectives, the students will try to learn the concepts of business economics, and demand analysis helps in optimal decision making in business environment. The functional relationship between production and factors of production and able to compute break-even point and to illustrate the various uses of break-even analysis. The features, merits and demerits of different forms of business organization existing in the modern business environment and market structures. Next, the concept of capital budgeting and allocations of the resources through capital budgeting techniques, and also these techniques helps to solve the simple problems how to manage and schedule the projects effectively in the organization. So various accounting concepts and different types of financial ratios for knowing the financial position of a concern. So that and all we can able to find out with the help of the business economics and financial analysis. After completion of this course, students should be able to list the basic concepts of managerial economics and how we can able to apply the various types of demand forecasting techniques to know the current status as well as the future forecasting of goods and services. To examine the economics and diseconomies of scale in manufacturing sector. So every company they are going to have some kind of cost advantages. So how it impact will be on the current status of the business that we can able to evaluate with the help of this subject, and students can able to summarize the basic models like perfect markets, imperfect markets. So they can able to differentiate between perfect competition, imperfect competition. So under imperfect competition, we are going to divide further into monopoly, monopolistic, duopoly, oligopoly type of competitions. So this and all used to know the price and quantity and their determination in each model. And next objective is the outcome is that compare various types of business organizations and discuss their implications for resource allocation, because every organization will have limited resources. So how best we can able to utilize these limited resources is also important to the organization. So analyze different project proposals by applying capital budgeting techniques to interpret the solutions for real-time problems in various business projects. So just by using these capital budgeting techniques like NPV, IRR, profitability index, the companies they can able to analyze their investment projects and develop the ability to use a basic accounting system along with the application of ratios, and also we can able to analyze the financial performance of the organization with the help of various financial accounts like balance sheet, profit and loss account, trading account, like that. So after going through this topic, introduction to business economics, the learner will be able to explain the meaning and definition of managerial economics, understand the characteristics and scope of managerial economics, describe the techniques of managerial economics, and the applications of managerial economics in real time decision making process. Apart from that, the learner will be able to differentiate between micro and macro economics. So, coming to the introduction to business economics, what is economics? Economics is a social science. It focuses on the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Economics analyzes the choices that individuals and business, government, and nations make to allocate resources. So, if you want to make any kind of purchases, and when you are talking about the production, distribution, and consumption, people always seek for the choices. What kind of alternatives available in the market to the individuals, and how the business they may vary with one type of business to other, and what kind of influence of the government will be in the business with reference to the allocation of resources. So, economics is the study of how people allocate scarce resources for production, distribution, and consumption, both individually and collectively. So, assuming humans have unlimited wants within a world of limited means, so it means that we'll have limited and scarce resources, and human wants are unlimited. So, how to balance, how to maintain equilibrium between limited resources and unlimited wants, so that we used to find out with the help of business economics. So, economists analyze how resources are allocated for production, distribution, and consumption. Then, why economics is essential? See, the study of how people choose to use resources. Resources include the time, machine, money, materials, and talent of the people, land, buildings, equipment, and other tools on hand. So, the resources may be anything. So, all the resources, some type of resources we can able to regenerate, but some we can't. So, that is the reason the companies always they work on how to utilize these scarce resources up to optimum level. So, the knowledge of how to combine them to create useful products and goods and services, that is the role of economics. So, it is the social science that studies the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Then, coming to the meaning and definition. So, economics is considered as a queen of social sciences. Economies, it is derived from Greek words okios and nomos. Okios means house and nomos means management. So, according to J.S. Mill, he defined economics as the practical science of production and distribution of health. It is the study of how people produce and spend income. So, economics is all about producing and spending of income, how we are producing the goods and income, and how people they are going to spend the income in different ways to acquire the goods and services to satisfy their needs. So, managerial economics is the integration of economic theory with business practices for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by management. So, this definition is given by Spencer and Siegelman. Another definition given by E.F. Breckham, he defined economics as the application of economic theory and methodology to business administration practice. So, it means that whatever may be the definition, so the ultimate aim of all these definitions is all about how to implement or apply economic theories into practice. So, that is all about economics. Then, coming to the branches of economics, Basically, economics divided into two branches. One is microeconomics, another one is macroeconomics. So, microeconomics means the study of particular firms, household, individual prices, wages, income, individual industries, etc. So, microeconomics is the social science that studies the implication of incentives and decisions, specifically about how those affect the utilization and distribution of resources. So, micro means small. Whenever you are going to study about a single unit, about the salary of an individual, expenditure of an individual, expenditure of a household, all these things comes under microeconomics. So it shows how and why different goods have different values, how individuals and businesses conduct and benefit from efficient production and exchange, and how individuals best coordinate and cooperate with one another. So this we can able to analyze with the help of microeconomics. So Alfred Marshall is regarded as the father of microeconomics. Examples of microeconomics are price determination of a particular commodity. So, how do we determine the price of a commodity? So, in general, the price which is decided by cost plus profit together is known as price. So, this cost involves the cost of manufacturing of a particular commodity. So, every business organization, their main objective is profit maximization and cost minimization. So, people will do business to generate profits. So, profit means the difference between whatever they have spent, the cost of manufacturing for that they used to include profit margin. So, that's how they used to decide the price of a commodity. For example, the cost of a product is 10 rupees and you want to generate profit. So, generally, the companies will keep profit margin as 5 to 10 rupees. So plus this, either they may add 5 rupees or 10. So it becomes 20 rupees, that is the price of the product. That's how they used to determine the price of a particular commodity. So based on the bargaining power of the buyers, sometimes they used to get the profit which ranges between 5 to 10. The next, consumer equilibrium. See, consumer equilibrium, here we are talking about demand and supply. So both should be equal. So if there is a demand for your products, your production should be up to that extent. And output generated by an individual organization. So again, it depends on the individual organization. Based on their capabilities, the available resources, the output may also vary from one individual organization to others. And individual income and savings. So we can find a lot of difference in terms of income levels, and the savings may also, it depends on what type of obligations they have in their personal life. Basing on that, the savings also. Some people may save 10% of their income. Some people they can able to save 20% like that. Then coming to the application of microeconomic study, it is applied in the field of agricultural economics, international economics, labor economics, comparative economics, consumer economics, regional economics, welfare economics, the aspects of public finance and other fields. So everywhere we used to talk about the study of an individual. Then what are the basic concepts that we are going to consider under microeconomics? So the study of microeconomics involves few key concepts but not limited to incentives and behaviors. How people as individuals or in firms react to the situations with why they are confronted. What makes them to do not go beyond their incentives. It depends on, there are certain constraints will be there. Within the limitations, people they used to secure some kind of incentives, the behavioral aspect also come into the picture. Then utility theory. So consumers will choose to purchase and consume a combination of goods that will maximize their happiness or utility, subject to the constraint how much income they have available to spend. So if you want to buy a luxurious item, so first of all we should think, do we have sufficient purchasing capacity or not? So how much you can able to spend based on that. If you can have that purchasing capability, so definitely you are going to buy that product, and which gives some kind of happiness after consuming that particular product. So that's how we used to utilize the product. So economics based on utility theory. Then comes production theory. This is the study of production or the process of converting inputs into output. The productive inputs in the organization, all four M's: men, machine, material, and money. So these producers seek to choose the combination of inputs and method of combining them so that the total cost will be minimum in order to maximize their profits. So always they used to work on that way so that their production cost will come down. At the same time, with minimum cost, they can maximize their profits. So that and all about production theory. Then comes price theory. So utility and production theory interact to produce the theory of supply and demand, which determine prices in a competitive market. So in perfectly competitive market where we can have large number of buyers in the market and so many substitute goods available in the market. So it concludes that the price demanded by consumers is the same supplied by the producers. The results in economic equilibrium. That's how the companies they used to maintain economic equilibrium. Then next branch is macroeconomics. It deals not with an individual quantities as such, but with aggregates of these quantities, not with individual incomes, but with national income. So when you are talking about national income, we used to consider all the people's income in a country. GDP, domestic product production. So overall production, you are irrespective of the sector we are talking about. So macroeconomics is the branch of economics that studies the behavior and performance of an economy as a whole. So its basic objective is that recurrent economic cycles and broad economic growth and development. So the country's economic position evaluated with the help of macroeconomics. So some of the theories which come under macroeconomics are theory of total output and employment, theory of inflation, theory of trade cycles, theory of economic growth, etc. And whereas the founding father of macroeconomics, John Maynard Keynes, he wrote the general theory of interest, employment and money in 1936. Coming to the examples of macroeconomics, national income, national savings, general price level, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, poverty, rate of unemployment, all these are some of the examples of macroeconomics. Then coming to the application of macroeconomic studies. So macroeconomics are applied in the fields of formulation and execution of economic policies, studying economic development, understanding microeconomics, welfare studies, the study of inflation and deflation. Even international comparisons lie in the study of macroeconomics. Then coming to the differences between micro and macroeconomics. The first difference is that microeconomic studies individual economic units, whereas macroeconomic studies a nation's economy as well as its various aggregates. Microeconomics primarily deals with individual income, individual output, price of individual goods, etc. Whereas macroeconomics is the study of aggregates such as national output, national income, as well as general price levels, which is applicable to entire population. And third difference is that microeconomics focuses on overcoming issues concerning the allocation of resources and price discrimination. Why we have difference in terms of prices in various markets among various products and services. That and all we can able to study under microeconomics. Whereas macroeconomics focuses on upholding issues like employment, national household income. And fourth difference is that microeconomics account for factors like demand and supply of a particular commodity, whereas macroeconomics considers the aggregate demand and aggregate supply of a nation's economy. And next difference is that microeconomics offers a picture of goods and services that required for an efficient economics. It is also shows the goods and services that might grow in demand in the future. So demand forecasting kind of thing, demand, what type of demand a particular product may have in the coming future. That and all we can able to analyze with the help of microeconomics. But whereas macroeconomics, it ensures optimum utilization of the resources that are available in a country. So these are some of the differences between micro and macroeconomics. So microeconomic study is determined by the method which is known as partial equilibrium, whereas macroeconomics is determined by the method which is known as quasi-general equilibrium analysis. And what is the effect of micro and macroeconomics? So any changes in these categories like micro and macroeconomics, they have a direct impact on a country's economies. So several factors affect a nation's economy. Let us take the first one, decision making. So uncontrollable external factors such as changes in interest rate, regulations, number of competitors present in the market, cultural preferences, etc. They play a vital role in the organization strategy and performance. So they may have an impact, either sometimes it may have adverse impact on overall performance of the organization. So these can have cumulative effect on nation's economy as well. The next, coming to the economic cycles. So experts they consider macroeconomics as a cyclic design. Why we are calling it as cyclical design means higher demand levels, personal income, etc. can influence price levels, which in turn can affect a nation's economy. In the contrary, when supply outweighs demand, the cost of daily goods reduces. This pattern continues until the next cycle of supply and demand. So sometimes we'll have high demand, sometimes we'll have low demand, sometimes your business will be stagnant without any change. So only in case of macroeconomics, we can able to show the economic cycles over a period of time. Then comes price of products and services. The primary goal of an organization is to keep cost at the minimum and increase profit margin. So the cost of labor is one of the highest expense incurring factors in microeconomics, thereby directly affecting the overall cost of production and retail. So, because of a small change in any of the resource, it may have impact on overall cost of production. So, managerial economics is a combination of both economic theories, concepts, methodology, and tools, and the same knowledge you are going to apply in business to make effective decisions and find out solutions to the problems in a business organization. So, managerial economics, it is application of economics in analyzing and solving business problem. So ultimately, by using economic theories and business practices together, we can able to find out optimum solutions to the business problems. So managerial decisions are an important component in the working wheel of an organization. The success or failure, it depends on the decisions taken by managers. Increasing complexity in the business world has spewed forth greater challenges for managers. So, based on the knowledge of economic theories, concepts, along with business practices, the business organizations may reduce this type of complexity in business. Managerial economics is a discipline that is designed to facilitate a solid foundation of economic understanding for business managers and enable them to make informed and analyzed managerial decisions. So, for making any kind of decisions in the organizations, they used to depend on some kind of concepts related to economics. By analyzing those concepts, by analyzing those problems, they may come out with effective decision making in the organization. Then coming to the concept of managerial economics. So now we have some idea. Managerial economics is a combination of both application of economics into the business world so that we can able to find solutions to the problems in the business. So the discipline of managerial economics deals with aspects of economics and tools of analysis which are employed by business enterprises for decision making. Business and individual enterprises have to undertake different types of decisions that entails managerial issues and decisions. So decision making can be delineated as a process where a particular course of action is chosen from a number of alternatives. So if there is a problem in the organization, first we have to identify what is the root cause for the problem. Then collect some information through different sources and find out different alternative courses of actions to solve that particular problem. So evaluate each and every alternative and identify one alternative from the available alternatives and consider it as the best alternative and which is the optimum solution to the existing problem. That's how the decision making took place in any organization. So this demands an unclouded perception of the technical and environmental conditions which are integral to decision making. The decision maker must possess a thorough knowledge of aspects of economic theory and its tools of analysis. Either the business want to make any kind of strategic decisions in the long run, they used to evaluate all the resources, whether they have the sufficient funds to cope up with the existing project or not. So all those things they should analyze. So that may be possible with the help of the study of business economics. So almost any business decision can be analyzed with managerial economics techniques The most frequent applications of these techniques are risk analysis. So, as we know, business means full of uncertainty. So, we have to analyze the risk levels. What type of risk is there? Price risk, competitors risk, right? There are so many types of risk, interest rate risk, like that. So, various models are used to quantify risk, to manage risk. And production analysis, microeconomic techniques are used to analyze production efficiency, optimum factor allocation, cost, and economies of scale. So, using some kind of economic models or methods, we should know how to allocate the scarce resources to optimum level, how to avail the economies of scale, and how to minimize the cost, and how to improve the production efficiency. So, all these things connected with economic methods, economic tools, and concepts. Then, pricing analysis, microeconomic techniques are employed to examine various pricing decisions. So, it involves transfer pricing, joint product pricing, price discrimination, price elasticity estimations, and choice of the optimal pricing method. All these things comes under pricing analysis. Why we have difference in terms of the markets? Perfect markets, you have to assume your price from the industry, whereas in case of imperfect markets like monopoly, you are the whole and soul, you are the price giver. But whereas in case of perfect markets, you are the price taker. Then comes capital budgeting. So, investment theory is used to scrutinize a firm's capital purchasing decisions. So, before going to take up any project, they want to know whether it is profitable to the organization or not. Because we have limited funds. So, wherever you want to invest, we should not get loss. We try to generate return on our investment. So, that is why economic concepts they will use in making decisions using capital budgeting. Then coming to meaning of managerial economics. Managerial economics is a branch of economics that deals with the application of microeconomic analysis to decision making techniques of business and management units. So as an individual unit, we are going to analyze a particular company, a particular industry. So that and all comes under managerial economics. It is a study of application of managerial skills in economics. How best you can able to utilize your management skills in economics so that you can easily achieve your objectives. It helps in anticipating, determining, and resolving potential problems, and also it helps to identify what type of obstacles you have in the business. So these problems may pertain to cost, prices, forecasting future market, and what type of future demand you have for your goods and services, and HRM, human resource management, profits, and so on. Everything comes under managerial economics. Then, why it is important? As we know, scarcity is one of the major issue. Wants are unlimited, resources are limited. So as a result, what happens? Scarcity. Demand is not equal to the supply. So where we used to find this kind of scarcity? Scarcity in terms of land, in terms of labor, in terms of capital, right? So there we will have limited and your time will also very less to produce the goods and services to provide the customer in the right time. And whereas the wants, they are unlimited. Food, clothing, shelter, security, everything comes under that. After accomplishment of one need, another need may arise. It's a continuous process. So economics is a social science which studies human behavior in relating to optimizing allocation of available resources to achieve the given ends. So it is a study of human behavior. So behavior, our attitudes, preferences, taste, they may vary from one time to another time. So you cannot expect the same throughout your life. So Brigman and Papas, they defined managerial economics as the application of economic theory and methodology to business administration practice. So you can able to maintain the equilibrium between these two. So scarcity and efficiency are considered as the two twin themes of economics. So consider a world without scarcity. If infinite quantities of every good could be produced, or if human desires were fully satisfied, what would be the consequences? There is no further question of production, distribution, and consumption. There is no existence of business if that is the situation. People would not worry as they could have everything they wanted. So, next, they never think about further development, further growth will not be there. Businesses would not need to fret over cost of labor or healthcare. Governments would not need to struggle over taxes or spending or pollution. So all of us would have as much as we pleased. No one would be concerned about the distribution of incomes among different people or classes. There is no parities you can find, no inequalities. No society has raised a utopia of limitless possibilities. So especially if you are talking about our world, it is world of scarcity, full of economic goods. It is a situation of scarcity in which goods are limited relative to a relative to desires. That's how we are unable to balance economic imbalances we can find. Maybe skill shortage, labor surplus, right? And when you are going to compare wants and needs, always they used to be in unequilibrium, imbalance every time. Then this is the reality, right? But given unlimited wants, it is important that an economy make the best use of its limited resources. This implies efficiency, and efficiency means denotes the most effective way how we can able to utilize society's resources to satisfy the people's wants and needs. And economic efficiency requires that an economy produce the highest combination of quantity and quality of goods and services given its technology and scarce resources. So people, they want qualitative goods and services with required expected quantities. So an economy is producing efficiently when no individual's economic welfare can be improved unless someone else is made worse off. So that is the reason we can see that there are a lot of economic imbalances. The diagram clearly states that unlimited wants, but we have only limited. So as a result, we'll have scarcity, unable to balance both. That's how people will have different types of choices. Choices in terms of production, how to produce, distribution, and for whom to produce, consumption. So this is all about economics. Economics, it consists of all the three: production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Then coming to the definitions of managerial economics, Megaton and Moyer, they define managerial economics is the application of economic theory and methodology to decision making problems faced by both public and private institutions. See, there is no limitation. Only public institutions, public sector units, they may have problems. So, nothing like that. Anyone may have problems. So, they should know how to manage those problems, how to make decisions using the limited and scarce resources in their organization. And another definition given by McNoyer and Merriam, managerial economics consists of the use of economic modes of thought to analyze business situations. So if we have the knowledge of economic concepts, we can able to analyze the business situations and accordingly we can make effective decisions. The next definition is given by Spencer and Segelman. They defined managerial economics as the integration of economic theory with business practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by the management. Then coming to the nature of managerial economics. So the first question in front of us is managerial economics an art or a science? It is both art and science. Lot of logical thinking and creative skills for decision making or problem solving. So how tactfully we can able to solve the problem. In that way it becomes an art. It involves the application of different economic principles, techniques and methods to solve business problems. And it includes both microeconomics. Why we are saying that managerial economics is micro means we used to study about a particular organization, a particular commodity. In that way it becomes microeconomics and uses macroeconomics. It serves the market which is a part of the economy as a whole, such as we used to study the market conditions, economic reforms, government policies, all these things they have their impact on the organization. So that is the reason if you observe the diagram of the nature of managerial economics will have all these things. Multidisciplinary. So it uses many tools and principles belonging to various disciplines such as accounting will be there, finance, statistics, mathematics, production, operations, engineering, human resource, everything. So it is the study of combination of all the subjects. So in that way it becomes multidisciplinary. And prescriptive or normative discipline. So it aims at goal achievement and deals with practical situations, real life situations or problems by implementing corrective measures. So in that way it is prescriptive and normative discipline. And next, management oriented. So managerial economics, it acts as a tool in the hands of managers to deal with business related problems and uncertainties approximately. So it also useful to establish goals, formulate policies in the organizations and also for making effective decisions in the organization. And it is pragmatic. It is a practical and logical approach towards the day-to-day business problems. So we are not alone talking about the external factors but internal factors also. The problems, whatever issues that may arise within the organization that can be easily resolved with the help of managerial economics. Thus, managerial economics has generally defined as the study of economic theories, logic and tools of economic analysis used in the process of decision making. It involves the understanding and use of economic theories, techniques of economic analysis in analyzing and solving business problems. So managers with some working knowledge of economics, they can perform their functions more effectively and efficiently than those without having such economic knowledge. So managerial economics studies the application of the principles, techniques, concepts of economics to managerial problems of business and industrial enterprises. The term is used interchangeably with business economics, microeconomics, economics of enterprise, applied economics, managerial analysis, and so on. So it lies at the junction of economics and business management and traverses the hiatus between two disciplines. Then coming to the characteristics of managerial economics, it studies the problems and principles of an individual business firm or an individual industry. It aids the management in forecasting and evaluating the trends of the market. It is normative. It is concerned with varied corrective measures that a management undertakes under various circumstances. It deals with goal determination, goal development, and achievement of these goals, and future planning, policy making, decision making, optimum utilization of scarce resources, everything done with the help of managerial economics. So uses the theory of firm. It employs economic concepts and principles which are known as the theory of firm or economics of the firm, and aims at helping the management. So everywhere, at every level, it always supports the management to take corrective decisions, and also it is helps to formulate the plans and policies for the future. A scientific art. So managerial economics, it is defined or considered as a scientific art. So it helps the management in the best and efficient utilization of scarce economic resources. It considers production cost, demand, price, profit, risk, etc. It assists the management in signaling out the most feasible alternative. It is prescriptive rather than descriptive. It means that not only describes the goals of an organization but also describes what are the means to achieve their goals. Then coming to the managerial economic scope, microeconomics apply to operational issues like theory of demand, where the consumer's behavior towards a particular product or service is going to be studied. It takes into consideration the needs, wants, preferences, requirement of the consumers to enhance production process, and theory of production and production decisions that should be taken with the help of microeconomics, where we used to talk about the volume of production, what type of process they are used in the production process, and how much capital and labor required for the business, and what will be the total cost of production, etc. Then microeconomics apply to operational issues. Under this, pricing theory and analysis of market structure. So already we have discussed about price determination, how the people they used to determine their prices by taking into consideration of their competitors' price, market conditions, cost of production, everything into, and profit analysis and management. So this particular uh, factor includes aiming at profit maximization, and it also depends upon the market demand and cost of input, competition levels, etc. And theory of capital and investment decisions. So where we used to discuss about the proper allocation of organization's capital and how to make the decisions or investment related to profitable projects in the organization, how to improve the overall efficiency, and macroeconomics applied to business environment. discussing about the economic environment. So, coming to the economic environment, the economic conditions of a country, GDP, economic policies, etc., indirectly impact the business and its operations. And social environment also influence the business. The society in which the organization functions also affect it, like employment conditions, trade unions, consumer cooperatives, etc. And political environment, the political structure of a company with country, whether the authoritarian or democratic, what type of leadership it is, and political stability and attitudes towards the private sector, influence of organizational growth and development. And microeconomics apply to operational issues, pricing and analysis of market structure. So, price determination of a product keeping in mind the competitors' market conditions, cost of production, maximizing all these things come into the picture. So, with this, I am going to conclude, and finally, now whatever topic I am going to discuss about after completion of this, the learner can able to understand what is the meaning and definition of managerial economics, and what is the real, how the managerial economics came into existence. So how to make effective decisions in the organization using economic concepts and theories along with business practices. So thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.